through AFRISA, we have gone through the process of making sure that we follow the value chain, poultry value chain, right away from that chick to the chicken, to the egg, to the consumer. Now that value chain, there are some other particular courses that have been produced, which we call business and industry, so that we can be in a position to have that other product. And we have said that as a vet, we have found out that a farmer is equally important. And through that other section of AFRISA, we have decided to take
What does AFRISA now mean?
AFRISA is an African, we call it an African Institute for Strategic Development in Africa. And that was brought about as an institute. It is an institute that which allows us to take and services to the community to make sure that the farmer sometimes knows what to do. So we have professional farmers that we have been training over a period of time. And through the process, we are saying we are celebrating 50 years. As 50 years, there are children that come along. And that's why, as veterinary medicine was one course, now we have several courses and master's courses that have been born. And along the story, we are saying that technologies have been made, innovations have been coming out, and discoveries. Some people have made some discoveries, and the services, and therefore you will find that we have had different communities being born. The academia or the academics, the teachers, the lecturers, also that's a community. Also you will find that the student who passed through, they went to have their community, and we call them alumni. And you will also realize that, interestingly, these other communities have also gone international. We have international communities that have been, and all of them, we are calling upon them that come. This year is our year to celebrate 50 years. And you'll find that even this morning, some of us, we have had breakfast where we had some eggs and other related things, meaning that we are going to celebrate together. You as a consumer, I know, as he has said clearly, that what we produce, our role is to make sure that it is secure, and we make sure that the public is secure through the animal resource. That's why...
Is there a difference between veterinary medicine and veterinary science?
The difference is not so much, but it is there. The medicine is all about going beyond the knowing what, but to make sure that you do the medicine, the drug ability to go around that. But the science is all about knowing what is all around certain things. And you'll realize that a veterinarian is trained right away from, we call them basics, where they teach you some basics. You are knowing the science, then later on you go into medicine, which we call the clinical years. That's why it takes 5 years. Yes. And you'll realize that that's the difference, but slightly. And you'll find that veterinary goes beyond just medicine, but also into production and other related things.
Okay.
Yes.
Ipola, let me talk to you about the accomplishments that you've achieved as the College of Veterinary Medicine in this country, and talk about 50 years. If somebody just followed you and said, well, let me possibly be part of the celebrations here, what are these very pertinent things that they would find with you to appreciate that, yes, for the last 50 years, having veterinary medicine in this country has benefited Uganda to this level?
Thank you very much for that question. I would say veterinary medicine, and not just veterinary medicine, but also in the aspect of School of Biosecurity, we have achieved quite a lot. Now, Dr. earlier shared and explained about the different innovations. So back during that time, the only program that was actually there was under the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, was just veterinary medicine. But the advantage now is that different innovations. You know, an innovation is different from a technology. A technology is something noble. And an innovation can be some value that you've added to a product or a process that you've made a substantial improvement. So that is an innovation. So from just a single program of veterinary medicine, now we have numerous programs, including biomedical laboratory technology, wildlife, animal production, among others. Now, I would want to focus on biomedical laboratory technology. We have had alumni or scientists come out of this college, come out of this school, and have been able to do wonderful things. Recently, we have had the COVID-19, and it really showed the importance of a biomedical laboratory technologist, where we had most of the laboratory technologists being at the forefront, of detection of these diseases, and now we have what we call a One Health approach. Now, a One Health approach is where we have both a veterinary doctor, an animal person, somebody in business, and among others, working together, because nowadays issues are complex. The COVID-19 has revealed that you not only need people who understand medical, you also need people who understand animal, because there are some scientists who are saying that actually the COVID-19 virus came from the animals.
Or it even attacks and affects animals.
Yes,
we have that also.
Exactly. So we have had, in terms of accomplishments, we have had some of our scientists come up with the test kits for COVID-19. One of our scientists actually came out with a test kit for COVID-19, and he came from the School of Veterinary Medicine. We have had again one make a test kit for Ebola. So we really have a lot of alumni, a lot of people who have done very, very wonderful things out there. And I would tell them that this is our time, this is your time, come and we celebrate.
Doctor, how do people appreciate veterinary medicine itself? Because today, if you have a son or daughter who is in high school or secondary school and they're doing sciences, for example, they want to go to the university, they'll talk about doing medicine. And when they talk about medicine, they talk about human medicine, the general medicine that we know. If they want to get into any other branches of medicine they are in, they'll talk about the other, maybe oncology studies. Not so many will appreciate or talk about veterinary medicine itself. I want to look at that appreciation. What do you think needs to be done over the 50 years? How have people appreciated that veterinary medicine is actually part of everything that we do? You'll notice that the only time you think about a vet doctor like Dr. Tumwine is when you have a pig at home, or a poultry at home, or you have some cows or something like that. That's when you remember that there is a man called Dr. Tumwine who should actually visit us. Let's talk about that kind of appreciation over the 50 years.
Thank you so much. And veterinary medicine has been growing, and interestingly that over a period of time, I got a chance that for me, I was trained in the 2000s, early 2000. I joined the university in 2001. Luckily enough, they had just celebrated the Silver Jubilee. I remember the mods in 96. The mods were still there.
So that was just at 30?
Exactly, when it was at 30. And interestingly, over a period of time, after finishing, I became part of the journey of training this veterinary medicine. And what you have said, that how do high school people get the feel that even when I'm doing this, I can go and become one. And one thing I have to tell you that personally, it was my first choice.
Veterinary medicine?
Yes, veterinary medicine was my first choice. And interestingly, over a period of time where I've stayed in Makerere University College of Veterinary Medicine, it is so interesting that the numbers have been increasing. And every time when we meet, I have a chance that we teach them first. My department, we teach them first. And every time you ask, who among you applied veterinary medicine as a first choice? I always see hands have kept on increasing. And the pride for me inside there, I see that, wow, this is good. And interestingly, over a period of time, we have seen schools come to be talked to. What is that veterinary medicine? And last year, the other year, 2019, I had a school from Midland that biology class really came. They wanted to know what veterinary medicine is. And I got a chance to be that person who was explaining to them what veterinary medicine is. And over a period of time, we have seen that growth has come in. Science has grown, and people have graduated. You know, for us in academia or academics, what we see is the output. Our output products are friends like Patrick here. For us, we train so that you can be in a position to go out. And when you go out, you are in a position now to say, that is our product. We gave you this Now you are doing this. And two, what we do when we are at the center, we do a lot of research. And when we do that research, we take it as an innovation or building new technologies, which we have done. And there are some discoveries that people have found out that, look here, there are certain things that are not what people think they are. But here is. And there are some more things that have affected human beings that have been discovered in veterinary medicine. Point in reference is these other, we call it zoonosis. Zoonosis are diseases that come from the animals too, corona being part of it. So there are certain things that we have worked together. But back onto the technology, you realize that currently the president also is supporting the corona animal side discoveries of vaccine. And interestingly, some technologies, you have heard of about tick and tick, or something, a vaccine, that when you put it in an animal, the tick comes to suck, it falls off. So that's what we call anti-tick. And here we want to thank our lead person in that innovation and technology, Dr. Saimo, who has really played a great role. And the president, I always find it very proud to say, I have my young scientist, and I look at onto Saimo being called young, and I feel, yeah, as a scientist, you remain young.
How old is Simon?
Saimo is around 70 plus. And interestingly,
the president's age mate,
yes,
but he calls them young men.
Yes, interestingly, she's among the first people of 71. For us, she's a golden.
She's one of the pioneers of 1971, when the college was starting.
Yes, she's a golden. This is timely, simply because technology and innovation has found her growing. And she can tell you that when she was among the few ladies who were doing veterinary medicine, and today being an icon, what was innovatively done before, today it has grown steadily. And one thing to note that when we were in the veterinary school, ladies were few. But when you come now to veterinary classes, ladies are increasing. And it shows that really people are getting passionate about veterinary medicine.
Do you look at the College of Veterinary and your biosecurity, everything on the right trajectory? Because you see, what we're now building towards is Uganda has got a vision that we want to achieve in the next 20 years from now. We want to see the Vision 2040. We have the SDGs that we are also implementing for this decade, which will have to take us until 2030. And quite a number of things. But when you look at yourselves in that field, because wherever we are, we in media, those in legal, whoever is, wherever they are, is we are building towards the bigger vision of 2040. How do you see and how do you project veterinary, biosecurity, medicine in this country? Are they on the right trajectory that by the time we get there, when we achieve and get to the middle income status and all the things, there shall be some very great improvement?
Yeah, thank you very much. I would want to say we're on the right path. On the right path towards achieving that vision 2040, and with the sustainable development goals, I think we're also on the right track. I would want to again look at School of Biosecurity. Now, the college and the school are becoming centers of excellence in regional biosecurity and global health. I would want to thank His Excellency in biosecurity. There are some funds that have been allocated to help to set up a center of biosecurity and global health in the college, and it's being equipped with the 21st century equipment that you really need to detect and surveil different microorganisms. For example, let's look at trade. When you look at trade nowadays, if you are importing some products to the country, you really need to check to see that the products you're importing to the country are good. The products you're importing are of good quality, and they are in line with the biosecurity aspect. That's why you heard recently that we are not able to import some of our maize to Kenya. Why?
Exactly. Because
of aflatoxins. Then you don't understand what are these. So you have the lab helping to detect the content, the levels of aflatoxins that are in the maize.
maize.
And then you also have the veterinary medicine doctors, you have the people who are in animal and husbandry, helping the farmers know some of these techniques. How do you keep your maize well? So I would say, in terms of sustainable development goals, we're in the right track. In terms of Vision 2040, we're also in the right track, because I'm seeing the government is investing in biosecurity, and also there is also that willingness within our community, within our scientists, to actually do a lot of biosecurity and veterinary medicine, which is really a good thing.
Now, I'm confused here, because when you talk about vet medicine, we're basically looking at the animals, I think, more so. But then again, I'm looking at a fusion with agriculture. Now, you talk about biosecurity and you talk about aflatoxins, for example, in maize. What do we need to do to avoid that, for example, and where are you? What's your position? Where are you? And how do you come in to mitigate such a situation that we keep our maize without the aflatoxins and all the things? Then again, on the other side, I'm seeing a situation where we are quarantining our animals over and over again. 2 days, then you'll hear the Honorable, what's his name, Bright, is saying we are now quarantining these animals. They can't move from Nakasongola to Luwero. Yes, these can't move from maybe Rushere to Mbarara. These can't move from all these issues. Where are you as the ones in charge, not in charge as it is, but where are you as a College of Veterinary Medicine and Biosecurity to help government in these issues and to help the wananchi?
That's really a very good question. I would start with what you earlier, when you talked about the quarantining and the like. I think what we need constant surveillance, because if you can be able to detect some of these things before they spread out and you have a crisis, the better. I would give an example still of the COVID-19, because I believe the public can relate it very well. If COVID-19 was contained, if good surveillance was done in China back then and was contained within China, perhaps we wouldn't have the lockdowns that we have had now. So
just remain in Wuhan.
Yes, remain in Wuhan instead of spreading to the rest of the world. So for me, I'm looking at surveillance, and I'm really happy to say that the Center for Biosecurity that the government is investing some money to set up will help in that. Actually, currently, our dean, that's the Dean of School of Biosecurity, became the president of the foot and mouth disease globally. So it means we're in the right path. We're in the right path, and I would leave my colleague to talk more about
Dr. Tumwini. Yes. Please, Doctor.
Thank you very much. To just give you a history bit of it, though I'm young, history is studied and sometimes verified by those who have stayed there. But I'm privileged that I was in the faculty, and we transitioned into a school. And simply because Makerere University was transitioning into colleges, then we became a college. And via that faculty, by then it was only veterinary medicine. And they discovered that medicine is never complete to make a proper treatment without proper diagnosis. That's why laboratory technology came on. And they boosted that section that don't just treat unless you first check that what is causing that. Then later on we went on and we discovered that as people are going into production, we had animal production. As wildlife came on and we had that, and now we are heading to the other. But as we are going to that other relevance of the college versus the ability to go into SDGs and the National Development Plan, now 3, with the dairy production and the animal production being one key important thing. We have found out that even in hunger, because there is free hunger in the SDGs, in improving nutrition, improving animal production, or production or agriculture, you will find that agriculture, sometimes they tend to confuse it with veterinary medicine. And the veterinary medicine, you have clearly said that it is the animal world. And in the animal world, you will find that it has both that is in the air, on land, in the sea, even on the ground. So you'll realize that veterinary medicine, you'll find that even when we are talking about wildlife, we are going to tell you there is also aquaculture. That's fisheries. So in the end, you'll find that the animal world is whole, to an extent that human is a modern animal. When you classify, you say animalia. You remember that's biology. And later on we became humans. But the relevance of veterinary medicine has been so quite great that many times people look at them as only animals.
Exactly.
Every time I'm walking and I tell you I did the veterinary medicine, you look at me as someone who
as somebody who's going to inject a goat.
Exactly. And we have gone beyond that. Veterinary medicine is beyond just that. And we have said that you can also prevent diseases by doing what we call public health. Public health also is in veterinary medicine. And when it is in your cows, and the cows, we call it a herd, then we call it herd health. Are you saying that? We are saying that you can prevent those diseases by containing them within biosecurity. Are you saying that? And we are saying if it has gone out, make sure that also you contain. Now, quarantine, interestingly, quarantine, incubation period, 21 days, which the president was saying, for us in the veterinary medicine, it wasn't new. It wasn't new because quarantine, we have been doing that. And the reason why they do quarantine is to prevent the spread of the disease. They know the disease is in this village. They don't want it to go to another village. If they had done quarantine in China,
in Wuhan,
exactly, COVID wouldn't. Now, when there is a foot and mouth disease, there are some diseases that are in animals that are so dangerous to economics. So, like FMD, which we call foot-mouth disease. The disease tends to attack, and the signs are seen on the mouth and in the foot. Meaning that the animal can't walk, can't feed.
It can't feed. So you lose it.
And you lose it. And therefore, when the minister says quarantine in Chiriandongo, sorry to use Chiriandongo, I'm not saying there is quarantine, but I'm saying that when there's quarantine, they know the animal that is in Chiriandongo can go to Utuke, can go to Moroto, it can go to Chisoro, it can come to Kampala. To an extent that when you buy meat and it has FMD, and you go in your farm and you touch your animals, you have already taken that disease
by just getting
the meat. And that's why in most cases you'll find that every time when you go to someone's farm, you bathe. If not, there is what we call
sanitize
that's the thing. When they say sanitize, the way I came here and they sanitized me. In fact, we already did that sanitization. When they said the quarantine, for us all those particular things, it was a common language. And I was happy that somehow, somewhere, veterinary medicine now has been made wider, that people now know when I say quarantine. Before, when they would say, now the Antonde is under quarantine, people would wonder, what are they doing? Now the president stay home.
Because all of us were sometimes quarantined now.
Exactly. So now people know. So I'm sure our farmers one time will be saying, wow, for us we knew quarantine before. And it is so interesting that quarantine, the language remains the same now. There is quarantine is being adopted. Whatever language you speak, when I say quarantine now, you understand. And others have called it quarantine.
Quarantine, but I understand.
They understand now.
It still makes sense to them.
Yes. And to us, we are saying, yes, this is going to develop us to understand biosecurity now. Biosecurity is a new term altogether. And it is one of the things that we are proudly on. And we have a center on that. We call it Center of Biosecurity and Global Health, which is a new center which we want also to inaugurate during the celebration.
What are you working on? That's important. What are you working on now that is very exciting for us to know about, except now the traditional academics in class to study and learn about veterinary medicines? But what are you doing, what are you currently working on that is an innovation or an incentive in this day and age?
Again, currently, I would still refer to the Center of Biosecurity. We have our scientists. I believe with time, as we're going through the celebrations, they will get time to share with the public what they're currently doing. But they're actually being involved in the vaccine development for COVID-19. And I think along the way they will get a chance to share with the public what actually they're doing. I normally hear the president say our scientists are doing some research, and sometimes I step back, I'm like, wow, now biomedical laboratory technology is no longer that thing that used to be in a certain bit of a hospital or not very relevant. Now in the 21st century, we're looking at evidence-based treatment, where you just don't have to treat, for example, a human being just by guessing. You have a headache, you have a fever, you're going to be given malaria, Coartem, because you could be having malaria. So now currently we have our scientists who are doing a lot of surveillance. They're doing surveillance on antimicrobial resistance. That's a new thing altogether, because nowadays what scientists have been able to see is that when some of the drugs are misused, for example, you have an animal, it could be maybe coughing or something, so you give a certain antibiotic to the animal. Now, after some time, a human being comes and consumes that animal. So what scientists are trying to see that, is it possible that we are making the drugs, because you don't give this animal adequate dose. You just give the animal very small dose because maybe you're mean with the dosage.
Maybe it's expensive to buy, and because it's an animal, to keep it going, and you'll slaughter it in
the next few days. Yeah. So now the problem is, scientists are trying to. Is it possible that it is causing what they call antimicrobial resistance? Antimicrobial resistance is where, for example, if you have a bacterial infection and then you're given a penicillin. Penicillin is one of the category of antibiotics that are there. So, and you're given it and it's not working. So they have to use some high-level antibiotics to be able to treat you. So what scientists are seeing that, is it possible that these things are crossing? And our scientists are really working very hard. One of our labs, called Central Diagnostic Labs in the College of Veterinary Medicine, is involved in that, together with the Infectious Disease Institute, and even some other labs that have been set up in northern Uganda. So the scientists are really doing a lot, and the only thing is, sometimes for us, I would say scientists are not sometimes very good with this media thing. So we are doing a lot of work, and it's not out there in the public, and you're wondering what's really happening in Makerere University, what is happening in the College of Veterinary Medicine, or what is happening in the School of Biosecurity. But our scientists are actually doing a lot of work. And again, I would again reiterate, I really thank the President for his investment in biosecurity, because it's going to be very, very important. Regional biosecurity and global health is going to be very important for our economy, because I'm very sure a large number of people who are businessmen have lost a lot of money because of the closure due to COVID-19. So we really need to do surveillance before some of these things hit our country. We are prepared. And again, I would want to say that Uganda as a country...
So you can help us detect things like COVID much earlier?
Yes, actually.
That these can actually bring in...
Actually, just to add on that, we already have a state-of-art influenza laboratory at the College of Veterinary Medicine. Now, influenza is again another deadly pathogen that... I would say it's more deadly than COVID. More deadly than COVID, because at least COVID...
SARS. Because even COVID is a SARS family.
Yes, it's a SARS family. But influenza is very deadly. But we have a state-of-art laboratory trying to do surveillance, trying to detect some of these pathogens before they reach out to the public. So we're really doing quite a good effort. And we have our scientists, we have the alumni who are doing incredible work. I believe you'll get to see them as the celebrations go. Remember, we're celebrating 100 years. And also School of Biosecurity, the Biomedical Laboratory Technologies, we're also celebrating 20 years. So this thing is combined. We have quite a lot of celebrations. I would say, ladies and gentlemen, let the celebrations begin. We have a lot to celebrate.
Dr. Tumwine, our time is running out. Let me know, Filmi, because you've been at the college for some time now, is how many, if you knew the numbers, or if you know the numbers, how many have we graduated so far through veterinary medicine, if you have the numbers? And where are they working? Where are their jobs? How are they of any importance to us? Because I'm looking at somebody who spends up to about, because I think you talk about 1.5 million shillings for a semester. I'm thinking so. And you're paying that for every other semester, times 10 semesters. Then, of course, the other administration costs or fees. How many do we have out there who have actually graduated through the College of... You may not be exact on the numbers. And of what importance are they to the country and to the communities, wherever they are?
It is interesting to note that I'm lucky that I was among the middle people. Previously they would graduate really few people.
Okay.
And over a period of time we have seen the class go to 70s. And on average we would say that we have been graduating 40. That's veterinary medicine alone. And when you look, that means that we have over 2,000 in 50 years. But in 50 years, minus these other 5 years who are still at school. So I would say we are around 1,800 who have graduated. And luckily enough, we have an association, which we call Uganda Veterinary Association, UVA, where I'm a member. And our numbers also range within that. Though our friends have departed, some of them, but we range around 1,000 plus people have graduated. And when we go into biomedical laboratory, the classes are always big, and they have graduated almost on average. They graduate around 120 on average. I can say that. In the last 20 years, that means that they are outnumber the vets themselves. They go into 2,000. And I'm lucky to coordinate now biomedical laboratory section of it. And in the WHM, which we call the Wildlife Health and Management, that's people who are dealing in wildlife, on average they graduate something like 10, 12. And it has been running for something like also 20 or so years. And over a period of time we have had. But interestingly, simply because now we have decided to take veterinary medicine and related to the people, to the community. Interestingly, we have more graduates in the communities than the veterinary medicine people through the AFRISA course I told you, that farmers are taught how to look on dairy, on poultry, on piggery, so that they can be in position to go through the vision for 2040, the contribution through that.
In the interest of time, would somebody do veterinary medicine and find themselves, they employ themselves, or they need to look for a job with government at the Ministry of Agriculture also? I don't know whether they go to, because somebody says, yes, if I do law and I don't get a job as a state attorney, then I can start my own farm. I can join Ipola's farm. I can partner with Tumine, and we form one. I'm looking at this. People go into medicine and they specialize, get into gyna, get into oncologists, get into all these things. Then they start up their own clinics or pharmacies or whatever it is. What about for a vet doctor? In this last 1 minute for us to know.
Interestingly, vet doctor is not different. We have what we call government or public vets and private vets. People have gone into opening up pharmacies.
Vet pharmacies?
Yes, vet pharmacies. They have gone into opening their own clinics. And you will wonder, vet clinic. And it is interesting to note that people, when you have a dogs, when you have chicken, there are vet clinics existing. And also at a veterinary college, we are having a clinic that deals in all animals, including equines, which is we call horses and related. So please take advantage of that. We have clinics. And these guys have gone into even into food processing by packaging this food, producing yogurt, producing sausages and whatever. So we are having people who have remained in academia, into research. We have people who have gone into public service through our ministry of MAIF. which is where we are employed.
Fisheries.
And it is interesting that the government has employed almost 80% of our products.
Is that so?
Yes.
That's very wonderful.
And simply because of our small numbers, it is interesting to note that every sub-county needs to have a vet. And when you see the number of now sub-counties, vets are being given that particular opportunities. And some sub-counties don't have vets.
Okay.
So every time they keep on advertising.
Well, I want to thank you so much. Ipola, your last comment before you get out of studios. It's 10 o'clock already.
Yeah, my last comment is to the alumni. This is a time for you to come back and we celebrate together. We have a lot of achievements. We would want to hear from you. So you can contact me if you are in the School of Biosecurity. So if you're biomedical laboratory technology, you have an innovation you want to showcase, we shall have a series of events, a series of outreaches to the community. We shall have a series of other things like blood donations, among others. Okay. So reach out to me if you're in the School of Biosecurity, and you can reach out to Dr. Gabriel if you're in the School of Veterinary Medicine. That's
in just 20 seconds, Dr. Gabriel, your final comment.
Celebrations start where you are, and today we start our celebrations. I know you're a farmer, you're a consumer. Come, let us celebrate together. Simply because for us, we are celebrating 50 years of higher education of veterinary medicine, our technology innovation, and the services we have been doing to you people. Come be part of that simply because your existence makes us useful. Okay. And I'm looking forward to that when we start calling upon you, please come and join us and seeing that we do this together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gabriel, and thank you so much, Patrick. I am very honored this morning that I've learned something new, or I've learned some new things actually, as far as vet medicine is concerned. We'll stop it here, thanking our good friends of Cleveland Hill Junior Day and Boarding Primary School in Salosalo Chevando for partnering with the Good Morning Uganda Extra. We just want to wish you all the best and remind you that, of course, the day after tomorrow, we suspect might be Eid Day, but of course, we also know that it is President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's swearing-in ceremony. We expect visitors from across the globe who will be here with us, and of course, UBC TV will do its national duty and mandate to make sure that you be part of everything as it's going to happen on the 12th of May. We wish you all the best. My name is Yagana Semakola Ziksoka. Blessings, good morning, and bye for today.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Sponsored by Cleveland Hill Day and Boarding Primary School. The Lord is my shepherd. Pick of the day on UBC, brought to you by was brought to you by.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Central Points when you deposit, send and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.